Hello everybody and welcome back to the War Boss Fitch channel, back in the garage. So we have everything set up for the Iron Cage scenario. Now, as you can see, I put the armies up earlier and I tried to make army lists for each of these, but I think we're in the 100,000 point scenario. So what we're gonna do is this is gonna be the table setup for the final parts of the Iron Cage scenario. So I believe it's going to take me a few days to get this all finished up, and I'm going to split it into a couple videos for you guys. So just like last time, what we're going to do is going to be more narrative driven. I'm going to roll the dice off screen and narrate what's going on. Also, if you're familiar with the Iron Cage itself, story-wise, you're going to know that about halfway through this fight, something fun is going to happen. For the people who are not familiar, I'll keep it a secret for now. But we're going to have the Imperial Fists go first, and I think this time I'm going to have the units activate on a company-sized basis. So, I believe with the Imperial Fists, I have like 8 companies plus a couple of different companies of vehicles. I'll activate all those individually. And for the Iron Warriors, I don't know. I think I'll kind of group it together for them, trying to activate them as a company, or maybe platoon-size elements, like, you know, half of the artillery at a time, 3 tanks at a time, something like that. If you notice a lot of jumps in the opening here, it's because I've discovered I cannot string together more than 2 minutes of dialogue without flubbing something terribly. So, small sections. I am nothing what you would call professional at this. Alright, so the table is set. The armies are ready. We're going to start with activation 1 of turn 1 with the Imperial Fists. So first thing we're going to activate is the Speedy Boys over here. All of our flying forces. Okay, they've moved up out of the ruins and they're flying into no man's land at breakneck speed. Now the Iron Warriors are going to fire off all of their artillery, and they're going to fire it into this company in this general area. They didn't do much damage, but we got our first stand kill on the second shot of the game. Now that's everything that's going to be in range for the Iron Warriors on turn 1. So we're just going to go ahead and speed through all the movement of the Imperial Fists, and I'll show you where they end up. Alright, turn 1 movement is complete. The Fists are coming out of cover, and focus. Now, this next turn we're going to see a whole lot of firing going on. First thing we're going to do is move up the siege tanks. Alright, their heavy siege cannons are still a little bit out of range, so we're going to move on to the next. We're going to have this... let me get my little pointer. I need a pointy stick. We're going to have this section of heavy weapons fire into the siege tanks. Alright, after that many heavy weapon shots, not that much damage on the siege tanks. One tank is down to 6 toughness remaining. Now we're going to have the far company over here. They're going to move. And once again, they're a little bit out of range, so I'm going to have this whole defensive section over here fire at them. Alright, that did not go the best for the Imperial Fists. 3 rhinos lost, 1 down to 3 toughness remaining, and a couple of squads lost their ride. Next, we're going to have the company that's mounted up in the middle move. They're moving up to join the siege tanks, and now we're going to have this defensive position here is going to fire at the siege tanks. Alright, 1 tank destroyed, 1 down to 2 wounds. Next, we're going to do the Imperial Fists artillery. Now they will be in range to fire once they move. They've pushed forward up to where the dreadnoughts are definitely in the way, but they are going to fire at this defensive line right here. They're dug in pretty tight. All those missiles fired, and only 1 wound was able to go through. We're going to have big chonkas here. This fell blade is going to fire at these rhinos. 3 more rhinos go kaboom. The Templar Brethren Assault Company has moved forward. The second heavy tank has moved forward and it popped one of the siege tanks and put wounds on the other. The fast movers have moved forward over here, and we're going to have this defensive line and their activation fire at them. 1 speeder taken out, 1 taken down, and 2 wounds remaining. Now nothing else is going to be in range, so we're just going to go ahead and run through the movement phase, and then I'll come back to you when it's done. Alright, movement complete. So the line is moving forward. The heavy artillery took some more shots at this company here and killed another 9 Marines. And we're going to move on to turn number 3. First move is going to be the fast movers with their multi-heat fusion guns. They're going to move forward to engage everything in this defensive line. The heavy fusion guns on the speeders are able to take out one of the tanks, and then the multitude of heavy bolt cannons on all of the speeders have just taken massive chunks out of the infantry behind that defensive line. This defensive line is going to fire into the rhinos and the infantry over here, hopefully slowing down their advance. A couple more rhinos taken down, and some squads are removed from the game. Next, we're going to do the siege tanks. They're going to move forward and try to blow a hole in those walls. This large group of 5 siege tanks here was able to blow apart the walls and cause some splash damage to the people behind it. And these 2 over here do not quite have the firepower to blow it up yet. This unit of medium tanks have moved forward, and they're going to fire all of their high caliber weaponry at the bikes and the speeders coming up. Doing 9 total damage, you're able to remove 1 stand of the jet bikes. Seeing the defensive line is down, the Templar Brethren see their opportunity. They're going to charge forward into that hole. They're not quite there yet, but they look very angry doing it. Seeing the trouble they're in, this defensive line, and well, we're going to do all of this here is going to fire. All that shooting combined did a total of 36 wounds. Now the fist artillery is going to fire into the same area. With that fire raining down, it is able to remove all of the infantry from that defensive position. This defense post here is going to fire at the siege tanks in front of them, and then after that the rhinos. The siege tanks took everything they had, and with the last shot was able to take the last wound off, leaving the rhinos untouched. And so they are going to activate and move forward as fast as they can. Now the Iron Warrior is going to activate what's left of this defensive line over here and the Fell Blade. The Fell Blade was able to pop 2 of the rhinos, and everyone got out just fine. And then loss of 1 of the wounded speeder, and then 1 squad of jet bikes. This company is going to activate. The survivors are going to move forward. Rhinos are going to let people out, and we're going to see if we can make a defensive line, because these are the breachers with the shields. They're acting like a phalanx behind their shields, marching up to the enemy. The Iron Warrior artillery fired and took another 7 Marines out of this company right in the middle. Alright, that's everything that's going to shoot this turn. We're going to do a whole bunch of maneuvering. I'll get back to you at the end. So at the end of turn 3, this is how we're looking. The infantry line has come out of focus. There we go, has moved up. The front line's getting a little sporadic. Oh, come on with the focus, man. It's getting a little sporadic in the front. Things are burning. Defensive line's blowing apart. Heavy tanks moving forward. Moving on to turn number 4. First thing we're going to have is the rhinos and troops inside move forward and dismount. Nothing like a whole company getting out of the transports right in your face. So after all their shooting, they're able to kill. Oh, come on with the focus. Come on, camera. They're able to kill all the infantry that are there and 2 of the medium tanks. So the Iron Warriors are going to activate everything in this area here in front of them. But now the Imperial Fists have the same wall to be using as cover as well. Okay, I think that was about 35 casualties for the Imperial Fists. Next, we're going to have the Templars, completely out of focus, are going to charge into this area here. They're rather effective. The infantry they charged died, both the medium tanks and the Leviathan Dreadnought went down. Next, this defensive line position here is going to fire into the breacher teams in front of them. They've caused a few casualties. Next, we're going to have the fast movers come across the line here, and they're going to attack that fell blade. Ooh, that guy right there. Right, the infantry that were behind the line have been taken out, and with all 8 barrels of heavy fusion guns, they were able to blow apart the super heavy tank. In response, everything on this flank was able to take out 2 of the speeders and 2 squads of jet bikes. This company is tired of taking a beating, and they're going to advance forward, firing their bolters. Between cover and bad rolling, they're only able to kill 5 of the Iron Warriors. Time for a response from the middle. Okay, the loss of 15 Templars, and then all the last cannons in the group reached out, and 2 of the siege tanks have gone, which they are now going to move forward and fire. Okay, some semi-effective fire, able to blow apart one of the medium tanks and take some wounds off of the Predator. Some negligible fire from the artillery is able to take off the last 2 wounds on the stand that was out here. Now, let me do a zoom out. We're going to do everything from the Imperial Fists is going to move that is not been engaged, because everything else is going to be out of range. And we'll get back to you. Alright, here we are. This is going to be the end of round 4. Everybody's moving forward. The front battle lines have been smashed into. And now the Iron Warriors are going to take one more turn before they spring their trap. First thing, the Imperial Fist artillery is going to fire into this section here. All of that shooting is able to take out 1 stand of Terminators. The Iron Warriors are going to activate the squads in this section here. The Fell Blade with its heavy cannon is able to take out the last 3 siege tanks, and the combined firepower of everything else in the area is able to take out 29 Black Templars. The squad of breachers, or the company of breachers, what's left of them, is going to go over the top. They're able to kill 15 defenders while taking a few casualties themselves. Now we're going to activate the Iron Warriors part of this cluster here. The resulting casualties is 26 Marines and 3 Rhinos. It looks like the Iron Warriors are pulling back. Now it's the fast movers' turn. They're going to zip through the defenses and see what they can come up with back here. They poured everything they had into that Land Raider. I was able to take it down to 8 wounds left. Now all the tanks and infantry that they have moved over is going, uh-oh. So we're going to activate them next. After causing 29 wounds, it's down to 1 squad of bikes and one land speeder. Now normally, we'd roll to see if they stick around, but this is the Iron Cage. There's no running in the Iron Cage. It's time for the Templar Brethren to just rip and tear. Okay, they're able to put a couple wounds on the Fell Blade. They're able to destroy this tank and the squad infantry that was standing there, but other than that, that was all they could touch. Now it's time to activate what's left of this defense line here. Okay, they backed off the line, and they were able to, with all their combined firepower, take out 10 of the breachers. Alright, the Dreadnoughts are going to be able to move and get in range to fire this turn. So I'm going to move them all as one group. All 6 of them as one. Alright, these 6 up here armored multi-melters were able to blow the back out of that Mastodon. And then the 3 armed with the heavy bolters were able to take out 1 squad of Terminators. So next we're going to have the heavy artillery fire from the Iron Warriors, and then move the Imperial Fists forward. I think this is going to be the last turn of moving everybody in a big group, because stuff's going to be in range next turn. Alright, everybody moved, but I did forget, this company up here still needs to go over the top, so they're going to activate now. Alright, with their bolters, they were able to kill 1 squad of infantry and 1 Terminator squad. So here we are at the end of turn 5. Now it is time for the Iron Warriors to spring their trap. I'm going to go ahead and set that up. Alright. The Iron Warriors have sprung their trap. We've got Terminators pulling out of holes. We've got Rhino reinforcements We've got... What the heck is that? Oh, you'll see. More rhinos. We got... Purdy himself. More Terminators. Just appearing inside the battle line. And then behind them, we have heavy mortars, Terminators, Defilers. A whole company of Marines and more Terminators showed up behind them. Welcome to the Iron Cage. And so with that, we're going to end this part. Tune in next time, where we finish up the Iron Cage scenario. I don't know what our Imperial Fist dead counter is, but I'm going to count them up, and we're going to find out. Remember, we're trying to get over 400. But until then, see you guys next time, and remember, if you're going to be doing something, you might as well be having fun.